everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Viviani. If you haven't known by now, you know your girl did her get to know me video, okay? And now we're on to some serious topics, okay? If you haven't liked and subscribed, you guys should. Definitely leave me your comments down below. But today, we are going to be talking about things that mean a lot to us and in the world currently today. So I am accompanied with one of my really good friends, Naisa. And I was going through a very weird motion going on with what's going on in the world and considered in regards to Black Lives Matter and what's going on with police brutality against Black people. And I was talking to Naisa about it. I talked to my best friend about it. I talked to Naisa. I was talking to everybody. I was talking to everybody about it. And Naisa really gave me a certain level of clarity that I think that was very necessary. That made our conversation so candid that I wanted to put it on camera. And that's what we're gonna start with. I do have a couple of notes. You guys know I have my notes. I always got my notes. My notes are important.
That's a thing.
But it's on the phone, not my book. It's okay. If you'll know when you see the next video. But today, what I really, really genuinely wanted to address in this video is trying your best to stay taking into consideration your mental health when it comes to times like this, being a Black person in America today. I think that I know for me and Naisa, when we were having this conversation, that it was very overwhelming. The information was overload. The things that were happening were overload. Like, I remember I was literally talking to her and I was like, honestly, Naisa, I woke up and I felt like my heart was breaking. Like, I genuinely felt like I was heartbroken with what was going on and I didn't know how to respond and I didn't know what to do. So I'm here trying to give you guys what I did and also protecting your mental health in the process and also giving you guys a call to action in the description box below. I want you guys to know that whatever's going on in the world is not happening to you. Which simply means that just because something is happening doesn't mean that you don't have control into changing it and that you don't have a voice. Your voice matters. You need to be heard. And just like every Black person and any person that is also, walking with us, making sure you're on the ground with us, I think that it's super duper important to know what you as an individual can do, because I think that's what also helped me in the process. So what I really, really, really want to talk about is, how did you feel when you were looking at what was going on in the world, and how did you feel about the world, coronavirus, the pandemic not working, and then dealing with the police brutality on top of that?
So, hi everybody. So at first, I dismissed it. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. I dismissed it. I tried to avoid it. I tried to stay away from the news. I tried to stay away from social media just because I was tired. I was very, very, very dismissive because I was tired. Mm-hmm. I've seen this with Trayvon Martin. I've seen this with Sandra Bland. I've seen this with Eric Garner. Like, it was just, okay, we're in cycles now. Like, okay, we're repeating history again. And at this point, I was just like, okay, I don't want to look into this. I don't want to drain myself, because I did the whole marching. I did the whole, I did protest. The whole thing. I did the whole protest, and I was passionate. I was angry. It was this whole thing. I went through this whole process, and for us in 2020 to be going through this again, it was just like, I'm tired. I don't have the mental capacity. I don't have the emotional capacity. I don't have the strength to go through the same process again as a Black woman. So in the beginning, I was just very dismissive. And then one day happened, and I woke up, and I woke up upset. I woke up heartbroken. I woke up hurt, like all up in my feelings, just because it was heavy. And I was just like, okay, here we are again. Let's look into the story. So I looked into George's story, and as I was reading, as I was doing my research and trying to understand why everything was happening, because I'm a person that likes to put two and two together. Yeah. Because here's the end result and here's the video that's on surface that everybody's looking at. But how did we get here? Who called 911? How did we get here? Right. So me being FBI 2.0, like, I was just like, okay, why did this, associate decide to call 911? If I go to the store and I hand you a $20 counterfeit bill, your initial response is to call 911? Yeah. From the very beginning, you already had an agenda. So my question was, in that moment, even before I got to watching the video, y'all, even before I got to watching the video and just reading the article, I'm like, but nobody asked the associate why he went and called 911 instead of calling your manager, instead of escalating it to another employee, instead of getting other people involved and following the ethical route. Like, you immediately just assume that he would come in here and want to hand you a $20 counterfeit bill for a pack of cigarettes.
You know what's so crazy is that working in retail and being in retail for over 5 years, there is a guideline that we are given from
There's a process. There was a process.
Yeah. And because I feel like being on the opposite end of the spectrum, like I hire and I fire and I deal with associates on a daily basis. So I can only imagine if my associate was on the opposite end of that counter, they should know the guidelines. So it was just, you know what was also very crazy for me is the fact that I genuinely felt like I wanted to feel like, okay, maybe something had to happen, because I'm the kind of person like, okay, for every action there's a reaction. So I'm like, okay, what caused this reaction?
Yeah.
Like initially I'm like, okay, this is the reaction that we get, but where was the aggression? Like, I know I've dealt with some customers that are aggressive, that are disrespectful, that are, you know, really trying to like put their hands on you, anything like that, and then when you see the video you don't sense that in him at all.
Where was it?
It wasn't even apparent
at all.
And it's like, this case specifically within itself just proves that, like you said, that I personally, as everybody can obviously say, that there's an underlying racism when it comes to police. And I think that a lot of people are not talking about it in a way that is informative. People are more attacking, and people are very, oh, well, if you're silent or if you're not making noise, your silence is very loud and things of that nature. But I also really wanted to take into account that being black in America, being African American, or whatever you consider yourself, because I know people, there's African American, there's Jamaicans, there's Haitians, there's Caribbeans, you know, we all have our different things, but when you are in society, you are a black person.
Yeah.
And being black in America, it's not a sense of being silent or being, it's like you're processing another death. Like, that could have been my father, that could have been my cousin, that could have been my brother, that could have been my cousin's brother, like, it could have been anybody that I am fully aware of, because in society I am already seen as an inconvenience. And I think that is what was breaking my heart for the longest time. I wasn't as active on social media when this happened. I really took the time to really find a solution that was going to be substantial. I really wanted to see if I could make a change in that aspect. Like, can I go to these police people? Can I join? Like, I was like, can I be a part of the government? Like, I need to figure out my way in, because my mindset was like, as long as I get in, I can bring the people that care with me, and that to me was so important. So I took a social media hiatus, not because I couldn't use my voice, but I took a social media hiatus so I can genuinely do my research, and I signed every petition that was possible. I went out of my way. I mean, I was sending emails. Everybody was sending me petitions. I was like, I already did that one. I did that one. And I did that one. I really just took the time to really do my personal contribution to this entire avalanche of emotions that I could not pinpoint. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing about social media, is that, like, it's not, people seem to forget that it's not real life. Like, just because I'm not on social media and I'm posting and I'm like, Black Lives Matter, and I'm doing all of this, doesn't mean that this isn't affecting me. Like,
as much as it's affecting you.
It doesn't mean that I'm not doing anything. It doesn't mean that I'm not a part of protesting. It doesn't mean that I didn't sign any petitions. It doesn't mean that I'm not walking a life that's about change. Like, just because I'm not on social media putting it out there, you know what I'm saying, for everybody and their mama to see, doesn't mean that this isn't affecting me. So, and even in that aspect, like, at one point when it first all happened, I'm like, yo, everybody's just hopping on this trend because they think it's cool, or they think that this is something that they should be posting, versus actually, like, taking the steps to, I don't know, like, see the actual change, or take the first step towards change. So that bothered me in the beginning at first, because I was just like, I'm not gonna post this post just to make anybody else happy. And then it was this whole thing that was like, if you're silent, I know where you stand. What? Don't tell me nothing. Don't. So it was just this time that we're in is hard. Like, it's hard. Difficult. And I think that social media right now, along with the pressure and the fact that they're only highlighting and focusing on the bad parts, you know, nobody's talking about the peaceful protest. Nobody's talking about, you know what I'm saying? Like, the good things. Nobody's highlighting that. We're only focused on the bad things, and it's a lot.
You know what really bothered me was the fact that I genuinely felt like the issue that I was personally having was so much information being attacked at me at once. Like, I couldn't deal with that. And even in the video that I have about graduation, which you guys will know because, you know, I'm a 2020 class graduate.
Hey.
But even in that video that will be shared very soon, I also talked about how college was a very big culture shock for me. I didn't understand why we had a syllabus. I didn't understand why the syllabus was given on the first day and you had to know where everything was. By the time it was this time, it was just the time management, everything was very difficult for me. So when I was being kind of spoon-fed negative information, I am a very emotional person in the sense that I take it literally. I will hold it on me like a badge. And I just started to see myself ingest information that was influenced by other people's opinions. So another reason why I really took a minute to really just digest my own personal emotions and really go back into myself and be like, Vivienne, how do you feel about this? Is because I wanted to formulate an opinion that was clearly and solely my opinion. Right? I wanted to make a decision and I wanted to be strategic and as clear as possible when I made my decision choices and when I did sign those petitions, because I meant what in the words of Nene Leakes, I said what I said. Okay? And what that meant for me was being part of everything that I knew that I could be a part of without formulating opinion that was just based off of somebody else's experience or somebody else's understanding of what is and what isn't. So I definitely felt like that was very hard, and that's another reason why I took a social media hiatus. And I think the social media hiatus that I took, even if it was like a couple days or a week, made me clear my mind. Right,
because whatever decision that you decide to take, or however you formulated like your opinion, or however you deciphered how you felt, that is how you lead the rest of your life. That is how you lead change. Because if I decide that I'm going to be someone who's going to take part in protesting, I'm going to protest all the way. Like, I'm going to be in this thing, I'm going to be about this thing, and that's just what it is.
That's what it is.
That's just what it is. But it won't be for clout. It won't be just because we're hopping on a trend. It will be because this is what I believe, and this is how I can contribute to changing the world and making it a better place. So I feel like a hiatus is very necessary, and I feel like taking the time off of social media is okay, and it is necessary. If you need a break, if you need to back off, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you need to take time to do your own research, that's okay. You don't have to put up a front, or you don't have to repost all these pictures, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to do all of that just to make it seem like you're a part of a movement.
And that's when I feel like what happens in the dark needs to be shed in the light, because there's a lot of people that's on social media that isn't doing
nothing, Jack.
Period. Nothing. They're posting the pictures, they're reposting them.
Straight talk.
Blackout Tuesday.
Straight talk.
You know, doing everything, and then you see them in real life, and it's like they're the same ones saying.
Vivi, half of these people don't even know what they're talking about.
That's another thing that I also really took another social media hiatus from, because I was like, okay, so this happened, but then this happened, and I'm like, okay, more information. I'm like, okay, whoa. What really happened?
I was at church the other day, and my youth pastor, he was telling me how because he lives, so in his neighborhood, they were doing a protest right outside of the street, and he decided to go outside and ask a young woman who was a part of the protest why she was protesting. And he just kept budging and nudging and asking, okay, she was like, oh, I'm protesting because Black Lives Matter. Why does Black Lives matter? Like, and he was like, why? And she legit couldn't answer him. So I don't want to be that person out in the street. Not to say that that's my case, but why, if you don't know why you're doing it, then
why are you doing it?
What's the purpose of it? How does that lead change?
I used to say to all my friends, like, especially when I was working in a different retail store, I'd be like, oh my gosh, you guys need to say what you mean and mean what you say.
Hello?
Because I used to feel like people would just say things and not understand the meaning of what they're saying, or say words they don't know the definition to. And I'm just like, no, say what you mean and mean what you say. I take what you said verbatim. Like, I'm not gonna analyze or dissect what you say.
Break it down.
No. Say what you mean and mean what you say. So I feel like a lot of people weren't not doing that during this, and I feel like I was watching a YouTube video literally last night, and I was looking at it, and I was listening to these people talk about this movement, and Michael B. Jordan was on there, and he was like, he said a lot of people just take a moment, they write their feelings down, they put it out on social media, they let it go, and then after that they go back to what they're doing. And there's people like that are going through the process every day that is trying to fight injustice in the criminal system. Like, there are people, there are lawyers, there are doctors, there are people that are in charge their entire life. They've committed their life, all their time and their energy to make sure that they're really fighting the injustices in the criminal justice system. And I think that when I heard that, I was like, wow, that's exactly how I felt when I was looking at all this information. That's exactly how I felt. That's exactly what I thought. I thought people were just going hard. But then you see people that are really about it. Like, even like literally people that we went to high school with, like really about it.
Yeah.
Been about it since day one.
Hello,
so when I saw certain posts, I was like, I really see you. You know what I mean? Because I know how much this means to you. I know you at least on a personal level at one point in our lives. And I know that we shared that same heart when it came down to this storyline. And I saw other people that were posting, and I'm like,
you ain't never said nothing about this till now.
Not only even that, but it's like, it just started to become like the Black Lives Movement or the Black Lives Matter movement was all about being in the in crowd, going back to being a part of a hierarchy and cliques and just wanting to be in the know. Like Dre dropped an album, we all got to listen to the album because we have to know that what song was lit. Or in the same, it's like people were treating it like it was a trend and not treating it as if it mattered. This matters. I want to take a moment right here. This matters.
Yeah.
This is not something that's today. This is not something that's just that. This is the history that we have been living in. This is modern day colonization. This is what this is. It matters, and it's changing the game for the new generation that's coming in after us. And I think that if we ourselves can't hold ourselves accountable, we can't hold anybody else accountable. Right. And Black Lives Matter is not a movement. It's literally, as a Black person, it should be your day to day. You should care. You should understand. You should know what modern day colonization is. You should know what police brutality brings. You should understand how to. I was at work, and I already told you this story, but I was at work. And I had somebody say something along the lines of, what's the point? Why are they protesting? So I just want to preference that this person wasn't Black, but I don't think that being Black was a problem. I think the problem is being cultured, which are two different things. Mm-hmm. And she didn't understand the concept. But she didn't understand it in a very biased concept. Like in a way that she was saying was like, oh, they're just doing this to mess up our day and whatever. Right. And somebody else checked her very decently. And I was thinking to myself, I can't understand how this person doesn't understand that this is like a very serious issue. Like, I was watching videos on Instagram with parents, Black fathers, and mothers sitting down with their children, 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds. I'm talking young children, explaining to them that they can literally die from the color of their skin, and the kids are breaking down. And you're telling me as a grown woman you don't understand that concept? You don't understand that somebody else's life can be at jeopardy simply because of a chemical that we have more melanin than you do? Like, it's so insane to me. And I'm really trying to pick my words wisely here, people, because I don't want to sound ignorant, but my point is that I genuinely was offended. I felt offended because I was like, I don't understand what the problem is. Because obviously the problem that we feel, how I feel or how you feel, is not the same problem for somebody else. So obviously they have this thing, first world problems. You know, things are different from everybody's perspectives. But when it comes down to simple humanity, like just understanding how, period, as an individual, you can't understand that somebody else's life is at jeopardy. Somebody just lost their life yet again. This is not even like today. This
and that's the thing.
The trend that's happening.
And that's the thing. People think that this is because of just George Floyd.
Right.
But it's not.
It's not.
It's so much bigger than that. It's our everyday. This is something that has been happening for so long, and we've been chill about it. Like we've been pretty lenient about it and pretty, under the rug about it, and not really making a big scene. But when this cop on camera
didn't care
for 8 minutes,